Watson!
Holmes, where are you? Holmes? Holmes? Are you all right?
Fine. Watson, I'm fine, thank you for asking.
Fine? By Jove, you should have heard the way you called out my name.
It was just a game of shadows.
I'm glad. This place gives me the chills. What are we dealing with?
Something that's finally interesting. His abdomen is severely bloated. Cyanosis of the lips, marks on the neck. This man was strangled. It seems made for simple experiments. I wager they could not afford a better set. This box contained a narcotic substance, much like the one in Kimihia's brazier. Black Edelweiss Institute established 17-something. At least 24 pendants, all identical and made of tin. An American passport, Amos Colby. Someone got their hands dirty painting this with blood. I've never seen a pattern like this before. Old blood stains. Did you hear that, Watson?
I hear you.
Fine rope work, cut by a finer blade. Someone used mud to draw a cross in a rectangle. Why? These clothes were crudely cut off someone. An American, judging by the style.
I hope we are close to finding our answers. This place is unsettling.
Kianak, Flegethor, Lebumna, Siaha, Inguft. Finglui, Maglanafa, Cthulhu, Rilia, Waganagal, Vatagan.
What on earth?
How is that possible? I told you that black cat was a bad omen. We shouldn't be here.
What on earth? It looks like the scribbling of madmen. Oh, potent. This sensor has more narcotic residues. A small bloodstain, but not serious. The strength it would take to carry this crate, let alone break it. Deep scratches left in a frenzy. Miserable food, mass-produced. I must have seen this one before. That explains my hallucinations. These clothes are missing buttons. They were forcefully removed. Dumpra, a staple of lecturemen's attire in Nepal. Gathered from dozens of people at the very least. Many people were brought to this place. Their abductors stripped off their clothes and discarded them in a pile. The prisoners were kept in a soporific trance by the use of narcotics. A few tried to resist, but alas, in vain. After a few days, everyone was stuffed in a crate and sent elsewhere. Only one captive was left behind. He was strangled to death on this altar.
What the hell is happening, Holmes?
Calm yourself.
Cannot be.
What is it? Oh my God. Please tell me we found all we needed to, Holmes.
I think we found a bit more than that.
Yet we have no clue as to where those people have been taken.
And that's where you're wrong, Watson. We have more than enough. I just need to connect the dots. How about you pack your suitcase in the meantime, my dear fellow? Just in case. Dr. Watson, how does a trip to Switzerland sound to you?
It sounds unexpected. What makes you think we should head there?
It's all about the box with narcotics and Mr. Colby's clue, the cross inside a rectangle. Put two and two together, add a dash of research, and what do you get? The Black Edelweiss Institute in Interlaken, Switzerland. If we hurry, we can still catch tonight's train. As grateful as I have been for your company, Dr. Watson, I'm afraid you shall have to investigate Edelweiss alone.
Hello? Mr. Holmes, I fear you overestimate my abilities.
Nonsense. You are a military man, a bastion of British courage.
I'm no such thing. As a doctor, I avoided most combat, save for one dreadful day. My troop was ambushed in a village, with innocents caught in the crossfire. Too many to help.
The man with the rosary. He was one of them?
A translator, yes. We were trapped. 6 soldiers and myself. I thought it was the end. But Lieutenant Paget refused to go quietly. The men prepared for a final stand. I rose to follow, but Paget shook his head. He told me to run. That I had other men to save. They charged, and I fled through the rear. So you see, Mr. Holmes, I am a coward.
The logic seems inescapable.
Yes.
You, a surgeon by trade, would have been perfectly useless in that conflict.
What? No.
And how many men have you helped since? Ailments eased, troubles tended?
No more than a handful. Truth be told, I have become somewhat of a recluse.
How many people could you help with 30 years ahead of you? Dozens? Hundreds? Paget was correct. You can cease your self-recrimination.
Holmes, I don't know what to say.
I would start with, I am Dr. John Watson, may I look around? The Edelweiss staff will doubtless be eager to show off their facilities to a fellow physician. I have already taken the liberty of sending a letter on your behalf to request a visit.
And what of you?
I shall be pursuing other avenues. Should you see anything troublesome or improper, simply notify the local authorities. Otherwise, try a little analysis yourself. You know my methods. Apply them.
Salutations, madam. I am Dr. John Watson. I was wondering if you've got word of my visit.
Yeah, Dr. Watson. We received your letter on the matter. Would it be to see Professor Gygax?
At their earliest convenience, yes. I shall try not to take up too much of their valuable time.
Wait here, bitte. Mr. and Mrs. Bronson, your girl has made remarkable progress. See? Take a look for yourself.
My apologies for keeping you waiting, Dr. Watson. Surely you understand how medical work can make one lose track of time.
Do not be sorry, Professor. I too know the importance of closely attending to patients.
The work hardly stops here, yet the satisfaction of perfecting the mind compels us to persevere.
I take it you welcome many a soul into your establishment?
Admissions, yes. Visitors, though? I am curious as to what brought you to the Schwarzes Edelweiss.
Word of mouth. An article I read back in London spoke highly of your institution. But rather than taking its word for it, I thought I would see things for myself.
My asylum's reputation precedes it, then.
Everyone, your attention, please. Guten Day. Yes, hi. Hello. The name's Amos Colby, Northwood Detective Agency, Boston. I got questions that need answers. Who's in charge here?
What seems to be the matter, Dr. Watson? You can tell me.
By Jove, it cannot be him. Right. Yes. I was surprised because that man is a celebrity. Yes, that's it. Very famous, Mr. Colby. I couldn't believe my eyes.
No. In my line of work, it can't wait. The longer it takes
If
me
you
to
wish
get
to
the
recuperate,
truth,
Dr.
the more
Watson,
lives
you
are
may
placed
avail
in
yourself
harm's
of the
way.
guest room.
But I have so much more to discuss.
Nurse, if you'd be so kind as to escort Dr. Watson to the guest room. Herr Colby, from Northwood Agency. How unexpected. I am Professor Gygax. I would be happy to answer your questions in the examination room.
Look, Professor, unless you got any clues as to the whereabouts of...
There is no need to be alarmed. No one gets neglected in that.
Now, let's not resort to brute force.
Do not worry, Herr Colby. My methods are rather more delicate. Search him thoroughly. Then take him to the holding chamber. I need to decide precisely what to do with our guest.
Ah, the unmistakable scent of alcoholism. Did you walk through their doors as I did, or did they collect you off the streets? Truncheon, not the typical tool for a nurse. Any chemist would envy the quality of this equipment. The final product, ready to cure madness, or to push one deeper into its grasp. Raw materials used to formulate medicine. With this equipment, they can create any type of medication. Very sturdy. I might borrow it.
What was that? Is someone there? You there! I command you to free me at once!
I'm not sure that's a great idea at the moment.
How dare you deny me? I must have my revenge against the lickspittles upstairs.
Fortunately for you, I'm here to stop the very same people.
You are?
Indeed. But first, I must discover all I can about this institution. Tell me, have you witnessed the arrival of any foreign patients?
Tell me? The gall! The impertinence to bark such orders!
Please, we don't have time for this.
Do you know with whom you speak? I am the great Napoleon!
Napoleon Bonaparte?
The one and only. Emperor of the French, First Consul of the Republic, leader of La Grande Armée. Once I am free and have exacted my revenge against the guards who ridicule me, I shall rest happy in the arms of my beloved Josephine.
Right. Well, I will leave you to your scheming, Emperor.
My heart is pierced by Cupid. I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me but my jolly sailor bold.
A certificate of appreciation from the municipal councillor to Professor Becker for contributions to the development of medicine in Interlaken. A simple toolbox, yet capable of repairing anything. Tubes of varying diameters. Interesting. Speech and the Cerebellum by S.A. Becker. A painting in a mental institution. Vogel would be delighted. John Sallow, the Tulpa phenomenon. I'm somewhat of an expert already. R.G. Hill, Dr. Connolly. It appears that all the psychiatric classics were banished here. Looks like it's still operational. This photo was damaged, seemingly by oil. This photo was damaged, seemingly by oil. I can make out the names listed here. Cooking grease. Is this the kitchen dumbwaiter? This sedative worked faster than I expected. Perhaps I ought to train myself, build up a tolerance. I'd rather not sit in this chair ever again. There's the guest room. I wonder if Watson was able to speak to Gygax. Locked. I suppose the reception will be guarded anyway. Darn. No way I can get past him without being noticed. This should suffice. I'm sure I heard something. This should be enough to avoid unwanted attention, at least from a distance. Manufactured and packaged here. This is the same narcotic substance that we found in London.
I will tear your lips from your skull with my fingernails!
Miss,
I'll gouge your eyes out and cut off your hands, just like you did to Heidi.
I am quite certain you would, but I'm afraid you have me mistaken for someone else. So, I take it your name is Gerda? Who is Heidi?
You talk strange. You're going to Hell's Door, aren't you? To where those other funny talkers finally shut up?
Hell's Door? To what do you refer?
Only Heidi had answers. Go away, pig!
I
said go, or you will spend your last moments on Earth screaming. This door won't stop me.
The garments of several dozen people at least. The garments of several dozen people at least. Fabric burnt in the furnace. A jalabia, a traditional garment from northern Africa. So you're Heidi. I didn't realize I was on Haunted Doll Watch. Good Lord, how unsettling. The damage seems intentional. So this is how they kept the prisoners docile and harmless. An orthodox reliquary commonly found in Eastern Europe, now in a cell halfway up the Alps. This stretcher was disinfected frequently. The stamp on this crate confirms it came from America. That's quite a distance to travel. These are the same crates we found in London. I should take a closer look. I doubt that one could survive such a journey with this little water. This is the same design as the one from London. The kidnappers even provided airflow. How generous. Dirt and sweat. They were locked in here for days, judging by the smell. This trip was prolonged and perilous. A bottle this sturdy doesn't break by accident. Substantial blood loss. One poor soul found another way out. The doors can be opened for deliveries. carriages were backed through these doors, and they began to unload their cargo in secret. Next, the crates were opened, freeing their passengers. Not everyone survived the journey. The dirty, exhausted, and dehydrated prisoners were then herded into cells. But all the cells are now empty, and I have not located a morgue. Time to find Hell's Door.
I will make them pay for what they did to Heidi.
I believe I have found your friend.
Heidi! Oh, poor girl. What did they do to you?
Shh. It's all right now. Everything will be all right.
Please, Gerda, now I have found Heidi, I need some help from you in return.
Shh, Heidi. We should thank the man, don't you think?
Professor Gygax seems to rule this facility with an iron fist. Do you know anything about her?
She's sick. She did nasty things to us. Separated me and Heidi just for fun. Before she got here, this place was all right.
Tell me all you know about those funny-talking people.
We'd hear their screams. The guards would take them down the corridor behind you and they'd disappear. And the screams would stop.
Have you ever met Professor Becker?
I remember him. He was in charge here before that witch Gygax. But I haven't heard his voice for a long time. Too bad. He was nice.
How did you end up in Block B?
The nurses say I'm prone to violent outbursts, but they're wrong. I just do what Heidi tells me.
I shall leave you two to get reacquainted. The doors can be opened for deliveries. Scratches. Something has been moved through here. This seems to be a locking mechanism. The whole thing must be a door.
them pay for what they did to Heidi.
I found Hell's Door, the one that made the foreigners silent, remember? How do I open it? Gerda, please. I cannot get inside. You have to tell me how to open it.
How can you speak to me like nothing's wrong? Can't you hear Heidi crying? Look at her! Look! She's suffering. I can't even hear my thoughts over her screams. Poor Heidi. We will fix you. I promise. We will fix you!
Leave it with me, Gerda.
You're going to be good as new.
Will this help fix your friend?
Give it to me.
How is she feeling?
Everything will be all right, Heidi. Everything.
Gerda, I have a couple of questions.
Yes,
Shut your dirty little mouth, Gerda. You've said enough already. She won't speak no more. Now it's only Heidi. You helped me, and I didn't cut out your eyes. So we're even. Now go!
Heidi, there are things I need some clarity on.
Ask if you dare, but if I get bored, there will be consequences. You bore us. Look, Gerda, the man.
Heidi,
Ask if.
Heidi,
Ask.
I found Hell's Door, but it's locked. Is there a way to get in?
Hell's Door? Never heard of it.
That's not true. You, Gerda, told me that Hell's Door makes people silent forever.
And you believe that snotty little girl? I'll personally ensure that she never dares to speak again!
Professor Gygax hurt you repeatedly, scarred your body and mind. You are not protecting Hell's Door. You are simply afraid of the consequences were I to enter.
I could tap your teeth out with a hammer until you choked on the blood and bits.
You could. But then you would live the rest of your life in fear of Professor Gygax. I can make that feeling go away.
How?
I can stop her. But the key, Heidi, the key to Hell's Door is critical to stopping Professor Gygax. And I think you know where it is.
Tell him!
But you said
And now I say tell him!
the professor. She has a special key. Keeps it close and only brings it down when new people go through. Behind those closed doors, those people start to sing. Oh, they sing in so much pain.
Gygax. Of course. Thank you, Gerda. Heidi. I must leave.
Leave? You joke. Nobody leaves the Edelweiss. Now you will be with us forever!
At last, you came to your senses.
My humble apologies, Emperor.
Spare me your groveling, Englishman.
Of course, you are right as ever, for you see, time is of the essence. The Royalists have risen again, and your darling Josephine needs you. Paris needs you.
Mon amour.
But the guards upstairs in reception stand in your way.
Ha! They will pose no problem for the likes of me. Merci, Englishman. When I return to Les Tuileries, I shall make you a general.
Oh, you are too kind, Emperor. Now go. Your freedom awaits.
I am coming, Josephine. Josephine, le voilà. Catch him!
Psst. Watson. Over here.
Holmes? What are you doing here, and
Where did you get that outfit?
It is unimportant. I require your assistance.
What is happening, Holmes? I need an explanation.
It's quite simple. I created a distraction so that I could tell you something important, and in turn, I need you to acquire something important for me.
How can you call any of this charade simple?
Watson, we can discuss this later. Time is of the utmost importance. The kidnapped people may still be here. This is what I know so far.
What? You really found all this on your own?
Focus, Watson. I need you to find a key. It will be most unique. All the details are in my notes. Logic dictates that Gygax will keep it near her. Once acquired, you must get it to me. Perhaps the kitchen dumbwaiter could be of use.
Holmes, I can't do this. I'm no spy.
Yes, you can, Watson. You are unfailingly dependable.
Dr. Watson, visitors are not permitted back here.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Kuntz. After the war, my nerves, I fled all that commotion.
It is nothing. A patient attempted to escape. He will not get far. Now, if you would like to follow me.
Did a child make these? Perhaps I should take this. For all I hope it won't be needed. The only reason to hang something this harrowing here would be to create another patient. Blood in the water. Someone must have washed their hands here recently. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes?
A visitor? No, you shouldn't have come here.
Give it to me. No, I don't want to. Why not?
Minor birds, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful creatures. Sad that they're caged here.
I want them to fly!
I don't want to guard Block B tonight.
I'm struggling to remember something.
This area is off limits. A patient has escaped.
Miss?
I hear them scratching. Don't you hear it?
Photograph seems recent. A commemorative photo album. Been a while since I've been in one of these. Good Lord, that's a lot of records.
hope you're finding your room comfortable, Dr. Watson.
I can't just leave Holmes here alone.
Ah, Dr. Watson. Just the man I wanted to see.
Professor, I'm surprised you're not trying to catch that escapee.
Please, my time is far too valuable. I hope Nurse Kuntz has been taking good care of you.
He has certainly kept me out of trouble.
Professor, it is time for your appointment with your next patient, Mr. Wolf.
Herr Wolf can wait until tomorrow. I wish to speak with Dr. Watson.
As you wish.
You still see patients yourself, even as the director of this entire facility?
Only the important ones. And yet I rarely get to pick the brain of a man like yourself. I think it is time we got to know each other, no?
I'm afraid there's not much to know. I'm just an average chap living a rather prosaic life these days.
Dr. Watson, those of us who pursue knowledge are anything but average. Now, who are you?
I'm a physician in search of a stimulating career. I have patients, yes, but admittedly, I'm more interested in the cutting edge of medical research. So when I read about the Black Edelweiss and your work on the healing of minds, I simply had to learn more.
I suppose my Edelweiss was always destined to attract other curious minds. But before we continue, I want you to understand one thing. A broken mind can never be truly healed.
Ah, I see. So, what exactly do you do here?
It is simple. If you cannot fix a person's nature, you must force them to forget it.
Surely there are other methods of treatment.
How naive. You remind me of a man I once knew, Professor Becker. But we do not speak of him anymore.
A colleague?
The former director here. One day he realized that Edelweiss had outgrown him and had to leave his house. Do you grow weary of me already, Doctor?
I was simply admiring your office, Professor. Apologies.
While I am pleased you appreciate its practicality and appearance, we were discussing bigger things. Was my conversation boring you?
No, not at all. I merely...
No, I understand full well. You're not seeking conversation.
What do you mean?
It is obvious. Your mind craves truth, but not in this form. You must witness a practical demonstration if you are to learn.
I'm certainly intrigued. Would that be possible?
Of course. I propose a journey between the jury of the human brain. You will not leave without being truly enlightened. Kuntz, take Dr. Watson back to the courtyard. Then tell the nurses to prepare the operation room and the girl with the doll.
Yes, Professor.
Our preparations will take a little time. I will come for you soon, Doctor.
Looks dusty but functional.
Oh, we never use that. I think it connects somewhere downstairs. Did you hear that a patient escaped? All the guards rushed off to find him.
You are Mr. Wolf, am I right?
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
My name is Dr. John Watson. I wanted to talk with you, if you didn't mind.
Ah, Doctor. I don't suppose you could help. I seem to have forgotten where I am.
We're in the Black Edelweiss, Mr. Wolf. It's an asylum in Switzerland, and you are one of its most important patients.
But why am I here?
That's what I was about to ask you.
I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember anything.
It's all right, you don't need to push. Try to relax. Let the thoughts come and go. Now, what comes to mind? Mr. Wolf?
Oh, hello? Who might you be?
We just went over this.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we've met.
We were just discussing this facility, the Black Edelweiss Asylum, and why you are here.
That name does sound familiar.
Holmes, the things I do for you.
Excuse me, who are you? And who's this Holmes fellow?
I am Dr. Watson, and Holmes is, well, you could call him my imaginary friend. That's just a little joke, don't mind me.
But why am I here, Doctor? Am I sick?
I'm sure I can take a look. Dear Lord, what did Gygax do to you?
Excuse me? Who are you?
Oh, never mind. Hello again. You won't remember me, but we've met before. I am Dr. John Watson, and you are Professor Becker. You were the previous director of this facility, the Black Edelweiss.
Professor, really? Actually, that name does sound familiar. Wait. Let me write it down. I try to recall memories through writing, but they always feel just out of reach.
As a matter of fact, I have more for you to jot down.
Oh, yes. Yes, please, anything.
Professor Gygax did this to you. She made you forget everything, even who you are. But we will play a trick on her. We will write a letter so that she learns her lesson. Put down what I dictate. Dear Professor Gygax, I bitterly regret that I let my beautiful alpine flower fall under your influence. I see now that you never deserved to sit as the director of the Black Edelweiss. You will be brought to justice, and the world will know your cruelty. And by the time you make it to my cell, the police will already know the truth of how you came to be director of this asylum. Signed, Professor Becker.
There. It's done. Now, hold on a minute. Who are you?
My name is John Watson. I'm a doctor from London, a veteran of Afghanistan, and I wish to be a writer, though deep down I fear I lack the talent. And presently I'm risking my life to help my brilliant detective flatmate in the pursuit of a cult of kidnappers, even as I fear it may destroy him. I'm tired and hungry, and I have not had a good bath in weeks, and yet despite it all, I feel alive. Any more questions?
Good heavens, sir. You're as mad as they come.
One of the patients asked me to deliver this note. It's for Professor Gygax.
Thank you, Doctor. Leave it with me.
A letter for you.
Unbelievable. Kunz, with me.
Close, but I don't think this is the key. This is too small to be what Holmes asked for. An Edelweiss relief about 2 inches in diameter. This must be what Holmes was after. Nothing special about this.
Tooth of an adult male, likely lost in a beating, only a couple of days old. The inside of the cuff is worn. It's been used often. writing is mostly gone. Phonetic symbols, perhaps. A wax cylinder. There is something recorded on it.
Cthulhu, Rile,
Looks as if it's been recently used.
Hagen.
Ringlui Maglana Pa Cthulhu, Rile Wagnana Galpet Hagen. Ringlui Maglana Pa Cthulhu, Rile Wagana Galpet Hagen. Ringlui Maglana Pa Cthulhu, Rile Waglana Galpet Hagen. Ringlui Maglana Pa Cthulhu.
A very professional brain dissection. Dynamo machine. Provides electrical stimulation for the person in the chair. Full-grain leather straps. Impossible to escape.
Get out of my head!
Your mind festers, devoid of soul. Find reverence for the one that trembled.
Great Lord!
Left your surrender your soul and become a servant of madness.
Please! No more! Stop it! Watson! John! Somebody!
Wretched mortal, do not fear what is to come. Let him rupture our world anew. Awaken! And let the
world behold!
The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Get out of my head! elevator. How ingenious. Oh, the smell. Dear God, is that body parts? Judging by the remnants of blood and flesh, these instruments were used for dismemberment. Utterly inhuman. Watson?
Holmes?
What are you still doing here?
Still? I was trying to find more information. Did you think I was just going to sit in my room twiddling my thumbs?
I only asked you to find the key. I had everything else under control.
Says the man who looks like he saw a ghost.
I'm fine, Watson.
You're hardly fine. You reek of congealed blood and chemicals. What did you see down there?
Never mind me. Where's Gygax?
I'm afraid she's over there. I found her like that when I entered, on my word.
What? She was our biggest lead.
Yet another wrinkle in our investigation. What do we do now, Holmes?
Hush. Let me think. The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The patients here wear the same robes. Heidi, how did it end up here?
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next. We've got what we needed, Watson. This conspiracy reaches further than we thought. I don't suppose you've ever been to New Orleans?
You are joking.
I seldom do. Let's go. There's no time to waste. There's nothing in this world that cannot be explained with logic and reason. Nothing in this world.
Holmes?
Hmm?
You seem troubled.
I'm not troubled, Watson. I am preoccupied.
That place was awful. Inhumane. It would be natural to experience some feelings of shock or fear.
Men reduced to gibbering imbeciles, numb beyond recognition, powerless to help themselves. When a doctor does go wrong, they are the first of criminals. They have the nerve and they have the knowledge.
That woman did not deserve the title. Such casual cruelty for such selfish aims.
I knew another man like that once. He treated my mother, perhaps even killed her, depending on who you ask.
My sincere condolences.
In the end, she was just a shadow of herself. The outline of the person I recognized, but lacking all else. She was pushed until she cracked. Should you see me cracking, John, I must ask you to intervene.
Nothing compels us to pursue this matter further, Sherlock. We can return to London, report what we have discovered. Let more capable hands take over.
Alas, there are no such hands. Were we to abandon our quest now, I fear no other would succeed in our stead.
We know nothing of what awaits, what dangers lurk in the darkness.
Nonsense. We draw nearer to New Orleans with every passing minute, and thus closer to the answers we seek. Those answers, for all their perversity and improbability, will, nevertheless, be the work of men. And that is a work I have studied well.
So be it.
I know you to be a diligent author, but if I may make one request. Kindly omit my mother and her suffering from your tale.
Of course.
Thank you, John.
Ah, Holmes. After our trip to nippy Switzerland, I can certainly use some of this New World heat.
Do not get carried away, Watson. What we could certainly use are answers to my questions.
I know, but you look exhausted. Why didn't we find the hotel first?
We shall rest when our investigation is over, and not a moment sooner. I shall ask you to handle our bags while I search for the bank.
As you wish. Oi! Stop it, you! Our luggage! Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister. It was an accident.
Do you know anything about this?
I'll help you, sir. You have my full attention.
Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray. Do you know anything about this?
Doesn't remind me of anything. Someone else might help you better, sir.
Our ship leaves tomorrow morning. No room for sightseeing then. More people missing here, too. Excuse me, just one question.
I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm clueless.
got a spot in mind?
Actually, I'm not sure yet.
Mr. Frank Barnaby, right? Auction's about to start.
You have me mistaken, sir. My name...
If you ain't Frank Barnaby, you ain't coming in.
Listen, the fate of many lives is at stake.
I'm sure it is.
So, not going to let me in then?
No name, no invitation, no entry.
Holmes, any luck?
None. They're holding an auction, invitation only. The good news is, I know who might have one. We need to find Mr. Barnaby.
Who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And you think Mr. Barnaby will be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed. Those lanterns are delightful. It is as though we have been transported to the Orient itself. Excuse me, just one question.
I'm bone tired, but yes, I'll help you.
Locked. No one's here. Rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
Damn, he at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If
Is
he
this
can't
familiar
pay
to
in
you?
greenback, don't be angry He'll with pay me, in sir. blood. But I don't know.
Could you help me?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
This place. There's a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but It reminds me of Cordona in a nice way. Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson. The two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic.
Eureka!
What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's clothes.
Holmes.
Watson, time is of the essence. You will go to the bank, not as yourself, but as Frank Barnaby.
Holmes, we look nothing alike.
The hat and coat will do the heavy lifting. Just stay cool, play the part, and no one will notice the difference. Trust me.
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
Where's my cash, Frank? In the bartender's tip jar? Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Mr. Barnaby.
Right you are. Shop owner.
Right. Your invitation, sir?
Here you go.
You okay, sir? Seem to have the jumps.
I'm in a rush.
Come on in.
Heavens, I never seen gems so big.
I simply must have them.
Can I ask you a question?
You better ask someone else about that.
Sorry, I'm just dealing with another client's request. Please wait a moment.
Do you know anything about this?
I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm clueless.
Help me, please.
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
This might be useful. I'll make a note.
Morning, sir, and welcome to the E.W. Gray Banking House. The auction will begin shortly. Name's Zoe Clemens, and I'd be delighted to help you.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Clemens. I am Frank Barnaby. I do have some questions, if you don't mind. These gems are rather curious. What can you tell me about them?
These rare beauties are black opals, all the way from Coober Pedy, South Australia. When they catch the light, the dark stone becomes a brilliant rainbow. It's something special.
Forgive my curiosity, but who was the previous owner?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to disclose them details.
It doesn't say where these stones came from, no provenance, no previous owner. I'm starting to suspect they were illegally procured.
What? We would never. I can assure you these gems were bought from one of New Orleans' most upstanding citizens, a philanthropist no less. If you would like to know more, I could get my manager.
You old dog, Barnaby. Didn't think you'd sober up for the auction. An hour ago, you were 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, you know, I hold my liquor better than most. And the auction was an important business opportunity.
An important business opportunity? Ha! What have you done with the real Barnaby?
Well, maybe I'm drunker than I thought, mister.
Mister? What's wrong, Frank? You're looking pale. Don't you recognize your old pal, Grub?
Sorry, Sheriff, but I don't have time for this.
Now, Frank, when I'm talking to you, everything else waits. If I want to talk, you talk. If I say jump, you say off which pier. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, while I have you, there's the matter of your outstanding fines. I've been more than reasonable, but I'm afraid the bills come due.
Fines? Right, I'm afraid I don't have anything on me.
That's funny. Ain't you at the auction? I weren't born yesterday, Frank. Now, assault, battery, disorderly conduct, that's serious stuff. You got off easy, but if you don't pay up, things get a whole lot worse.
Look, Sheriff, I'm not actually...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Think careful now, 'cause Frank Barnaby only owes us cash. But fraud, impersonation, that's weasel behavior. And you know what we do to weasels round these parts. Feed 'em to the gators. So, Frank, what's it gonna be?
Here's all I have.
Mighty fine of you. The people of this parish deserve peace. They don't take kindly to visitors. Don't miss that boat tomorrow morning, Doctor.
I told you, Holmes. I told you it was a bad plan. Now we're penniless and wanted criminals.
Hysteria gets us nowhere, Watson. Tell me what happened.
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. I'm going back to the boat to get changed. Oh, bollocks, now our clothes are in the bloomin' water.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
I ain't sure what you did to the sheriff, but it must have been something real hairy to have him chuck your luggage off the pier.
With respect, miss, have we met before?
If you were the real Frank Barnaby, yeah, we would have. But where are my manners? I'm Lucy. And you are?
John. I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
Well, it's barely noon. And you've already made an enemy in Sheriff Grubb. The man starves his gators just in case someone crosses him. John who?
Watson.
Well, Johnny, if you plan on sticking around, you better change that suit, or Frank's reputation will catch up with you. And then you'll be a John Doe.
Alas, I think one of those gators is currently devouring my spare clothes.
You've got yourself in a fine pickle. All right, come on board the Nymph of Louisiana, and I'll sort you something to wear.
The nymph? Is that what it sounds like? Why are you helping me?
Well, let's just say you ain't the only one who's had run-ins with the sheriff. Way I see it, this city deserves better. Now quit your stalling and head on over to the Nymph. I'll be in room 6.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Oh, go annoy someone else while I visit the Nymph.
You know, I think the look actually compliments you. Why bother changing it?